The stranger host. Come and expose the oil lamp as electric, greet the angel's whirlwind, and cancel the flight. Shy steps masquerading in a ballroom's shadow, the notes that climbed into a stranger's mind, belief and desire of a step into conclusion, the pearly key revealing that truth in kind. The stranger took upon an invitation, swim in the great halls and join a fanciful feast. There was a careful uncertainty in the acceptance, a moment of quiet reticence at least, for the host was personally renowned and adored. The stranger's feelings were in the public eye, to join in the festivities of a group worlds away. They pondered their specific invitation. Why? To learn of a new world and shape the mind, to establish some connection of a closer kind. Both ruminations rounded the soul as the invitation was accepted. The stranger arrived and met the first guests. They talked the talk and formed a foundation, asked the right questions and learnt what they did. Maybe a world he could travel in and settle the destination. Then the host arrived and something was wrong. The party hymn sheet printed a different song, but the stranger was there, all graces and a smile. They needed to learn quickly or sink in the trial. The stranger lit the fire. The people sang a cheer. The feast formed by the professional and passed with the beer. The relaxation of the nervous system. Cool calming of the mind. The drinks kept flowing, the party sun showing, the confidence growing, the stranger now knowing they had a seat at the table. The stranger and the host. They crossed paths many times. There was a warmness in the air and a smile to share. The stranger slowly sounded out a fondness in the mind. The host appreciated a new friend in their ranks to unwind. The stranger sought for lofty clouds and a pink pastel sky. The host kept grounded expectations and wouldn't lie. The stranger learnt, but held on to a glimmer. The host was satisfied with a friendly simmer, a short span collision course rolling down the tracks. Late into the festivities, the drink had found its voice, often the conveyor of slurred precision of the sober active thought. Joking, laughing, every soul succumbed to the energy, light prodding of characteristics and failures pressed and taught. The stranger spoke in a certain way, obscure dialect to the crowd, easy and playful to hold on to and amp into a gentle scoff, though there the host made a simple, passing comment. That's one of the many reasons I was put off. Stop. Just for a delicate moment of reflection. Stop. The stranger froze in their heart. He'd heard in passing an old connection had used similar language to them, and that similarity was unshifting. The critique, wasn't blustering. He was used to the pickup of the stranger words, but one moment in that passing rang like a church bell at noon. Many. The stranger wasn't an idiot. His uncertainty of the invitation held the semblance of a last dance saloon, to see if that perceived glimmer had any wings. There was always, from the starting line, a deep feeling of knowing the unfavourable outcome, almost expecting it, but at least closing that unfinished chapter. So the comment wasn't surprising to them. But many weighed on their heart like chains in a lake. The stranger had in the past been described with an unlovable look, their passion put in the closet with the rest of the clutter, and had grown to accept their shortcomings as a soul. So that word, many, brought back those painful memories, and left them to wonder in their drunken state whether this was just the way things would always be. The stranger was a lot quieter for the rest of the ball. They still spoke and got involved, but always in their head. They kept drinking to blur the coherence of thought, in part quite thankful that the uncertain glimmer was dead. The ball came to its conclusion, and everyone went to bed. But not the stranger. They had so many thoughts now swirling around a slowly sobering mind. They blamed themselves for clinging on to hope, despite the obvious, but didn't feel any resentment for the host. They'd been clear for a long time, and it was the stranger's cross to bear now. Unable to sleep, the stranger made a choice. They picked up a pen and wrote a little letter for the host. They thanked them for the invitation and took responsibility for any ambiguity they'd caused. Still somewhat drunk, they penned a message of pride of their friend's talents and the utmost wish for their future success. They decided not to mention the comment that sent them spiraling. They didn't feel it would do anyone any good, and again, it was a stranger's cross to bear. They wrote a short poem of affirmations. It felt a bit theatrical, but the wording was nice. Then signed off with 2 more thoughts. Knowing that there's nothing owed by existence, they knew they'd met lightning in a bottle, and was pleased to have done so. Then told the host to show the world just how incredible the stranger knew they were. It felt final, without intention of being so, but maybe it was for the best. The stranger knew they couldn't see the host the same after that night, and appreciated the friendship enough to not struggle in their own personal grips with the fracture and leave a rift. Better to leave things on a positive note. You can't combat someone's truth with feelings. The stranger forced a few hours of sleep and awoke, knowing it was time to leave. They'd made a mess in their own mind and needed the open road. Hours later, they wondered if the letter had been a good idea or a drunken blunder. But when you make a choice, you deal with the consequences. And always grow for tomorrow.